This video is brought to you by Gamersubs. Use code MHB at checkout for 10% off your next order. I've made it no secret that I love myself a good collectathon platformer. I mean, being a kid in the late 90s and early 2000s, how could you not, right? They were absolutely everywhere. Because of the likes of Crash Bandicoot, Spyro the Dragon, Super Mario 64, and Banjo-Kazooie, to name a few, this is a genre that every time I play it, even as an adult, I can't help but smile. It just makes me feel like a kid again and not like a man on the cusp of being 30, which is nice every once in a while. With that being said, that doesn't mean every collectathon platformer hits for me, and the original Yooka Laylee was one of those games. I was so excited for it before release. The minds behind Banjo-Kazooie starting a new IP, say no more, I'm in. But for me, it just felt a little too Banjo. Less of an homage and more so stuck in the times. For whatever reason, it just didn't grab me, despite liking the new duo, and I moved on. I did enjoy the Impossible Lair a lot more, but it was released 8 years ago, so I sort of figured the series was done and dusted, never living up to its true potential. So I was quite surprised when I checked my email a few weeks ago and saw Playtonic reached out asking if I'd be interested in a review code for Yooka Laylee, a remake of Yooka Laylee. I was initially skeptical, almost like a why remake this game and why now sort of skepticism, but I decided to give it a go after watching a few trailers. Again, the original had so much potential. It just felt like Playtonic weren't sure how to bring that Banjo-Kazooie goodness to a modern format. Maybe now they've figured it out. Well, after playing and platinuming the game, I can honestly say they crushed it. This remake feels both familiar and completely new. From the visual upgrade, which is obvious, the world just pops a lot more with the saturated colors and great lighting, to the gameplay additions and improvements. More than anything, the remake prioritizes fun. No more backtracking between worlds until you have enough Pagies to fully unlock them. They're all there from the start. Plenty of collectibles to go and find, doubling the original game's Pagies without oversaturating the worlds. As a result, the worlds feel really full now, but not filled with meaningless busy work, and that's thanks to the new and improved minigames and challenges associated with the Pagies. Rextro in particular got a massive upgrade with his new style of arcade games that are such a treat. There's a lot of changes, big and small here, from something as simple as your role no longer taking up stamina, fixing the camera in certain points on the map, having all your abilities unlocked from the get-go, a map to help track collectibles. There's too many to name. But the point is, when you bundle that all together and pair that with the charming story and characters of Yooka Laylee, you've got a remake that truly feels like a modern day successor to Banjo-Kazooie and the game Playtonic was originally aiming to create. Alright, that's my mini review. I highly recommend checking out Yooka Laylee, and now onto the platinum journey. Since there's no missable trophies in Yooka Laylee, step 1 is pretty straightforward. Our primary goal is to collect 120 Pagies, because that's how many you need to unlock the final boss. But what the hell's a Pagie, and why are we collecting them? Well, basically you've got an evil corporation, Ivory Towers, led by CEO Capital B and his assistant Dr. Quack, who had recently captured something called the One Book, which when written in, grants the user whatever they desire. This is where our duo, Yooka and Laylee, come in, minding their own business on the hunt for treasure, and a tutorial this time, which was great. Anyway, they end up stumbling across the book and yoinking it, getting a trophy for doing so, an open book, and for eating our first butterfly. Yooka Tasty. It doesn't take long for Capital B to notice the book is missing, using the big ol' suck cannon to try and grab the book, but instead, it just rips the pages right out and scatters them across the worlds. So Yooka and Laylee head off to find those pages before Capital B can put the book back together. Or so they think. Much like in Crash 2, we're grabbing more and more Pagies to progress, but they're going straight to Capital B when we open the various Pagie doors within Ivory Towers. So that's the premise, and again, while there's 300 Pagies to find in the game, we only need to find 120 to unlock the final fight, so that was my mission. Collecting enough Pagies in one world to unlock the next, so on and so forth, and save the cleanup for step 2. Entering our first tome, Tribal Stack Tropics, needing 15 Pagies to unlock the next world. How do you unlock Pagies though? Well, most of what you do will reward you with a Pagie. Some are just hidden around the world, some are for finding ghost riders, some are for helping out characters scattered across the world. Some characters have minigames that you'll need to beat, whether that be a race, a minecart gauntlet, or one of Rexstro's arcade machines, and others are for things like solving some puzzles or keeping an eye out for a sparkle nearby. There's a lot of variety on offer while unlocking the Pagies, and I think that's why, despite having an absolute boatload of them to find, I mean 300 is a hell of a lot and could have easily been a LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga situation where they're just collectibles for the sake of collecting. But these are always good fun and so satisfying to grab, and I think Tribal Stack Tropics is a great first world to introduce that sort of gameplay loop. It's a simple layout compared to the later worlds, but because of that, it helps immediately familiarize the player with what they should be on the lookout for in the future. As soon as you roll up the hill, so many things catch your eye and immediately start rewarding the player for their curiosity, instead of the original where the worlds could often feel quite empty and lifeless from Pagie to Pagie. With all that being said, trophy-wise, World 1 was a bit light, only getting 2 trophies for eating 30 butterflies, tastes like butter, and completing a Red Quids challenge, basically the red coins from Mario. Ready, set, go! Before grabbing my 15th Pagie and opening the first door into World 2. Turning a Pagie. Just quickly as well, Ivory Towers is just as compelling to explore. I found myself quite often detouring between tomes and going after Pagies here, which is actually where I unlock the next trophy for buddy slamming a buried treasure. Buttoneer. Buddy slam a buried treasure. Alright, cool. Anyway, now we need to get our Pagie total up to 35. So on to Glitter Glaze Glacier, we went, which yes, is a nice world. A collectathon staple. Thankfully, it's not just filled with slippy mechanics throughout. It's more of a Winter Wonderland vibe. This is where I embarrassingly took my first death. Belly up, lose all your health. Cool. Collected my 4th puzzle piece. Puzzling. Collect 4 Pagie puzzle pieces. I'm assuming that trophy is like, oh hey, get them in 1 level. Nah, I got 2 in each. Since the flight ability is a power up now, I found my first flight crate. Making flight. And broke 100 crates. Crate job. Then it was time to find the molecule for Dr. Puzz, and by doing so, you'll be transformed into a vehicle specific to that world to smash open some otherwise indestructible objects. Hello, old friend. And for finding 5 Ghost Riders in the world, which rewards you with 3 Pagies, making that 8 in total if you find them all, which is not too shabby. Ghost Righted. Another world done and Pagie door opened. Demotivational speaker. On to tome number 3, Moody Maze Marsh, to get to Pagie number 55. I love this world. I'm a sucker for these sorts of worlds in platformers. Reminds me a lot of Medieval. Here is where I can finally mention Trouser the Snake and Vendy, the vending machine, the 2 merchants in the game. Vendy takes quids and sells tonics and a whole heap of costumes, whereas Trouser takes quills for stat upgrades, tonics, and complete costumes. From Trouser, who has the more worthwhile goodies in my opinion, I bought and equipped my first tonic, the Quill Magnet, to help find those hidden away quills a bit easier. Tonic play. I also finally warped across the map with Mark, which is again a great addition. Mark X's the spot. Defeated 25 underwater enemies. Shellfish. Collected my 50th Pagie. Page turner. Hey, we got 50 Pagies already. That's gone pretty quick. And finally found one of Rexstro's play coins to tackle my first Rexstro Bites Back levels. Insert coin. These are such a great break from the regular gameplay loop and can be a great test of skill if you want to grab all 3 medals, which we have to do for a trophy later. Anyway, you can move and chomp. That's it. But with that, you can fight off enemies, grab ledges, complete timed jumps. It's impressive how great these games are with such simple mechanics. Taking a bite. Collect all 3 medals in a Rexstro Bites Back level. 55 pages later, another door opened. Corporate restructure. And it was time for the world I remember the most from the original. Tome number 4, Capital Casino, to get our Pagie total to 75. A world that, for whatever reason, always reminds me of Duke Nukem Forever. Regardless, this world is so unique. The casino theme really stands out. It feels like at every turn there's something to do. It feels like it wants you to use most of your abilities a lot more often, which I like. And this is a world that really benefits from being fully unlocked right from the start, unlike the original. Sadly, not a world with a whole lot to talk about trophy-wise, though I did collect my 250th quill. Quillful. Hey, 250, nice. Accidentally replayed a completed challenge, which just means I picked up a Pagie I already completed. Replayly. Oh, replay a completed challenge. And destroyed my 35th Cornelius, these big piggy banks around the world. Breaking the bank. We smashed out 75 Pagies pretty quickly here though, opening door number 4. Poultry Promotion. And it was on to our final tome, Galleon Galaxy, to get our final goal of 120 Pagies. This is such a dope final world. Not only is it visually incredible, but they really upped the environmental hazards on this one, meaning the platforming and different abilities have plenty of room to shine. Plus, we unlocked another stack of trophies for completing a Green Quids challenge, a speedrun type challenge which I really enjoyed going after. Going green. Killed 10 googly eye enemies. I saw another one. We're getting a fair few just by playing the game. Equipped 5 or more tonics at once. Super tonic. Equip 5 or more tonics simultaneously. Collected my 100th Pagie. Center page. Collect 100 Pagies. Alright, 20 more until I can fight the final boss. Completing all of Shovel Knight's quest, and by all I mean 2. He's only in the first world and this world, but his quests are good fun. Needing to grab the treasure atop this temple, and here to grab the 4 keys off the Pig Knights to unlock some locked away goodies. Knight's Request. Complete all Shovel Knight's quests. Oh, okay, there's only 2 in the game. I stumbled across the Inept prototype. Fully loaded. Find the prototype Inept. Alright, cool. And finally completed a Kartos challenge without taking damage, which is pretty easy to do. The hard part is getting enough gems to get those 3 Pagies. Feeling awe. Eventually, we got our Pagie count to 120, and it was time to face off against Capital B. Malicious Makeover. Unlock the door to the office of Capital B. No more Dr. Quack quizzes, by the way, which is a huge relief. Anyway, Capital B is no slouch in terms of a final fight. There's 3 phases, and if you die at the very end, you're going right back to the start. You need to pick up some health upgrades beforehand, and just try not to get overwhelmed once he starts jumping around the screen, summoning enemies, and causing lots of havoc. I did get got a couple of times here, but this is a great fight for a platformer. It'd have to be up there with the very best. Ooh, that was close. Out of business. Defeat Capital B at the end of the game. Alright, the main game was done, it was on to the cleanup, and immediately I went off to grab any Pagies I missed in Ivory Towers. While going after the Pagies, I found the last of 3 Vendies I needed to kick over. Vendetta. And went on a shopping spree to try and spend 10,000 quids, which in turn got me a trophy for equipping a complete outfit and equipping a costume piece in every slot. Looking good. And costume haul. So cute. Oh, there we go. Quids in. Here's the kicker. It was around this time I collected all 50 Pagies in Ivory Towers and was about to head back to the first world when I just wanted to double check the trophy list. Yeah, turns out there's no trophy for 100%ing the game. So once you collect the 120 Pagies, to grab the platinum, you don't need to collect anymore. So that last half an hour was a bit for nothing, but the more you know. So I just focused on tidying up any missable trophies I didn't grab during my main run through the game, like World 2 where I glided for 15 seconds consecutively, which is impossible without an air vent. Breath of fresh air. Collected all 3 medals in my final Rextro arcade machine. Champion Collector. Completed the amazing Isometric quiz, which is 3 impossible to get wrong questions. Taken the quiz. Alright, win the amazing icy metric quiz. Yep, that was hard. In World 3, I found enough quills to purchase my final health extender. Extendamate. Nice. And used the camo cloak for 30 seconds in a row. Seeing it through. Alright, finally. Been trying to go for that one for ages. And in World 4 is where I would end up completing the game for finding the final pirate treasure, Skeletor. And after a good long while of searching, collecting all the quills in a single world, unlocking the platinum, and our time with Yooka Laylee was over. Oh, thank God. I finally found him. Feather in your cap. That's for getting all the quills in a level. An International Laylee Day, and that is Yooka Laylee, all done. And I was a little on the fence with how much this remake sort of needed to exist. I had so much fun with this. This was great. So would I recommend you play and platinum Yooka Laylee? This is a big hell yes from me. Again, I was skeptical going into this remake. I wasn't really sure if this was a genuine attempt to change up the game, or just a look how pretty the game is now sort of remake. But I can honestly say, Playtonic absolutely nailed it. Yes, visually it looks amazing, up there with the very best in the genre. But now, the gameplay doesn't feel so behind the times. All the improvements, additions, and streamlined features all help this game feel so damn fun to play. In terms of the platinum, I was a little disappointed with no trophy for completing the game 100%, which doesn't happen often. But I was disappointed because I was more than willing to do it. I didn't want my time with the game to be over. The trophies feel very natural to go and grab. I mean, again, I didn't check the trophy list until I was almost done. But I think more than anything, this is a game that younger me would have absolutely adored on the same level as those other platforming icons. If you're a fan of the genre, and especially if you had issues with the original game, you have to check out this remake. And now that Playtonic have the formula down, I've got to have a genuine Yooka Laylee too. Thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far into the video, make sure to leave a comment with Banjo Hooey to let me know that you made it to the end. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave a comment below and let me know what are some games you think are flying under the radar this busy season. Shout out to the channel members for that extra level of support, and special thanks to members of the Bear Club, Scott Unwin, Steel Vanguard, It's Grey J, Dark Wolf Zafado, Lug Knights, Golden Sparrow, Lord Alex, Kuzma, Jarvis McGee, and One Wonder Hit. Thank you all, and I'll catch you in the next one.